Whew. Hello, thank you for helping out with San Pablo Bay nursery while I'm gone. Just making this video to help outline what I'm hoping that folks can do while I'm gone, and just kind of highlighting some things that I've had problems with this past season. So I'll be touching on the general things that you should be doing. Hopefully nothing goes wrong, but if so, I'm just going to point out a few things and some solutions that I found, just to limp things through until we fix the larger issues. So right now, we're here in the greenhouse. We have quite a few flats going. You'll notice that they're all on one side, and some of them look older than others, and that's true. These are all active. Don't worry about them. As far as some being mossier than others, we're largely growing juncuses and caryxes here, so it's really important that they're getting a lot of irrigation. All right, so what I'm hoping y'all can do is just come in here, check in on the plants, give a feel. I like to also just check in on the seedlings to see if they seem stressed or if there's any browning on the tips of their leaves that might indicate that there's a problem or that they need more irrigation. So what I'll have you do is come back here. This is the rain dial, our control box. Open it up. You'll know that it's working if it is displaying the time, and please make sure that this is always on the run setting rather than in the middle or off. So what I've been finding is that hopefully you just come here, things seem wet, and that the irrigation control box is displaying time. I think right now we're working on just station 1. It waters for 12 minutes or 20 minutes at about, right now it's on 6 a.m. and about, I think, noon. Every time you check, if you think you need to adjust the time, you're like, wow, 20 minutes is just not enough. You start at run, hopefully it's already there, go to settings, go to station 1, and you can up the time or lower the time. 20 minutes is pretty generous, so hopefully there's no real need to adjust any of the settings. If you come here and there is no time displayed, which happens, what you're gonna need to do is open up the back. It's kind of loose right now, and generally what the issue has been is this battery here it has died. And that's really important because obviously this is the control box. Oh, wow, I'm struggling. I'm not gonna fix this in front of you. So this is the control box, so it tells the valves when to go off. So if the battery isn't working and there's no display time, then what you're gonna do is just wander over here to the tool bench. Louis so graciously has given us a bunch of 9-volt batteries, and just replace that battery. It pops out like this, pretty straightforward. You can just replace it and attach it. Please put the batteries right here on the tool bench, and make sure that once the battery is replaced, that it's displaying the time and it's on the run section, and close it. But yeah, you could also do supplemental watering if you're like, wow, these things seem dry, but the control box is working. You can just give it a run with the hose. That's totally great. I like to use the shower setting as to not disturb the peat moss or the growing medium too much. Look at all these juncuses. So hopefully it'll be easy breezy. Something else you may find while you're here is that it's really warm. The fans go off when it's 90 degrees. So you can always check this thermometer right here to see what temperature it is. It's about 70 right now, which is lovely. If you think it's too hot, you can come over here and open the top. I generally like to make sure it's just cracked a bit to let out heat, but not lose a ton of heat so it doesn't get too cold. If you think that it's just a hot afternoon and you're like, well, it'll cool down tomorrow, this is just a hot day, what you can do is open the back slider and open the front slider and crack this a little bit more, and that'll just refresh all the air in here and cool it down pretty immediately. That's pretty much what's going on in the greenhouse. If you have any problems, please reach out to Allison. I'm gonna put some other contact info into the Outlook invite, so you can reach out to Refuge staff directly, but I say Allison's your best bet. Now we're going into the shade house. Spray your shoes, right? Look at that, BMPs. Shade house, we've been having a lot less issues. You can see all the plants that are from past seasons that are still around. And what you're mainly gonna wanna do here is head straight back to this control box right here. The key is broken in here, so what you're gonna do is find this screwdriver on top, stick it in there, twist it, open it up, see that it's running, wonderful. If you're thinking that there needs to be more irrigation, that's totally fine. What you're gonna do is just twist this dial, go to station run times. We're using station 1, station 3, and station 4 right now. You just use these little arrows to up or lower the water. It is set to run at about 5 a.m. for all of the things. So if you get here in the morning, stuff should look pretty wet. If you adjust this dial at all, please make sure to return it to the run section, otherwise it won't work. Then you can just use your screwdriver and secure it. Please secure it, otherwise there might get moisture in there and it could damage the control box. I like to also check in on the plants too. Right here we have our beautiful Symphytotrichum chiliense. There's also a bird nest in there, so just be thoughtful. There's a mama bird yelling at me right now. You can check the soil moisture by just dipping your finger in. I like to check different pot sizes, the gallons. It's kind of like shrimpy roses, the D40s. And then I also like to check each bench. See, this one's looking pretty lush. The elderberry bench is looking pretty okay. It's good to check plants that are on the edge of the table as well as in the center, just in case the spray is off. And then we have these leftover bahia plants on this table. Ooh, there's a bird. That scared the poop out of me. Look, there's another nest. We're not worried about the nest, but just know that they're there. So I'll check these as well. Different pot sizes. Yeah, and I'm hoping that's about it. Please feel encouraged to do any supplemental watering that you think is necessary. Signs that plants are stressed, generally it's just drooping or wilting or discoloration. I think the yarrow is a fantastic one to be using as an indicator. It will get really limp and yellow quite quickly after if the irrigation has failed. Doesn't mean that the plant is dead. It will totally revive. You can see some of these have been through it with these dying leaves, but they've come back really strong. And yeah, just worry about these benches here. I'm gonna try to clean things up a little bit so you're not confused at what plants should get watered. But yeah, I'm really hoping that this takes just a few moments of your time and can be woven into the workday. It could be one person coming by to check, or it could be the crew on their way to a restoration site to do maintenance. Whatever works for you, works for me. As long as this nursery is getting checked pretty much every day that we're working. I've been coming here every day just to check on things and do a little maintenance-y stuff. The greenhouse is incredibly vulnerable with all these wetland species growing in these shallow seed flats. So the greenhouse is the number one priority, and the shade, of course, the shade house is important too. These plants can like survive a little bit longer if something goes wrong, but it's the greenhouse that's our number one, my number one concern. Yep, hopefully this helps. Hopefully it's not too long. Shoot, it's 10 minutes. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later.